Hey everyone, welcome back to Modern with Randy. I am Randy. Today I'm going over a modern deck. Going over the Convoke deck that had just put up number 2 here in the latest challenge. I believe it's a 64-man challenge that I put up a like 3rd or 4th place finish in. But I thought I'd just kind of go over it and basically just go over what it is. It's kind of a fun deck that's been around for a little bit, but maybe we'll finally gain some more traction to it. Who knows? But essentially, if you've heard of the Pioneer Convoke deck, this is the modern version that you don't really gain too much more besides you get Memnite, another 0 mana artifact, and you get Kadaltha Rebirth as well as Gleeful Demolition. So both basically the same thing. You get 3/1/1 Red Goblin. Whew, challenge there. For destroying one of your artifacts, or sacrificing, I guess in this case. But basically, the deck plans to just put a lot of power out quickly. If you're tired of games going to the super long turns, like turn 4, turn 5, this is the deck that you want to play. The game plan here is to essentially set up to where you're either convoking on turn 2, or I guess even really you can convoke on turn 1 if you're really lucky, but convoking on turn 2 guaranteedly, or activate or flipping a case of the Gateway Express, kind of one of those new cases that came out, was doing well in standard, has transitioned to Pioneer and Modern. So when it enters the battlefield, you choose a target creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals 1 damage to that creature, so it's a spot removal effect for this deck, as well as then to solve it, you need to attack with 3 more creatures, or you need to have 3 more creatures attack this turn, and then when it's solved, all your creatures get +1/+0. So you're playing that, you're playing Venerated Loxodon as another Convoke payoff. So when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that convoked to this turn. So ideally, you're gonna be convoking with 5 creatures and putting, making your 1/1s or 1/2s into 2/3s or 2/2s. You have Knight Errant of Eos that lets you look at toxic cards in your library and choose a creature card. Or choose 2 creature cards as long as their converting count is equal to or less than the number of creatures used to convoke this. So if you convoked it out for 5, you'll be able to get another Knight or a Veterinary Loxodon or any of the other creatures. If you convoked it just for 1, for some reason, you can still get like majority of your deck. Another good one. And then we also are playing Goblin Bushwhacker. So Bushwhacker has a kicker cost, so it's 1 red for a 1/1. If you pay the kicker cost of another red, when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste till end turn. Notably, that is Goblin Bushwhacker himself, so he will become a 2/1 with haste. And then, of course, we're playing, the Novice Inspector because, excuse me, because that makes a clue token so that you can sacrifice to Gleeful or Kadaltha Rebirth. Same thing with Inspector Thraben, makes a clue. And then we're also playing Warden of the Inner Skies here, basically just as another payoff for us, because you can tap whether you tap 3 artifacts or creatures and put a +1/+1 counter and then scry the top card of your library, so it lets you start to dig for what you're looking for a payoff. Overall, though, your game plan is that you want to put a bunch of power quickly and then just flood the board to where your opponent can't ever win. Obviously, this deck is good against anything that's going kind of mid-range or a little slower. Just because you take over the board so fast and like you demand an answer on turn 2, turn 3 to this variety of small little creatures. So spot removal is not really good against this deck because you're not killing anything that like Warden of the Inner Skies you're the best thing to hit, or like a Knight or a Veterinary Loxodon, but like you're still leaving around 6, 7, 8, 10 power worth of things on the board. So like, oh cool, you killed my Veterinary Loxodon, that was 4 power, here's still 10 coming at you, that's half your life total. And since we're playing Modern, you're probably already at 17 because you probably already fetch shocked. So definitely a cute little deck. It's cool, it's interesting, it does put up a lot of power, very fast. It definitely is something that's going to take away. I think this is a great deck to take to an FNM, or any of like your local Modern event. I don't think this is like something you want to take to like an RCQ or like big events, because it does just kind of like lose to itself sometimes if you don't pressure them fast enough. Like on turn 3, turn 4, if you're not winning, it does become a lot harder then because the deck stabilizes very fast, and anything is bigger than an X2 is bigger than most of your creatures. But it's a fun deck, it's fun to play around with, and it did just do well in a challenge, so I figured I'd give it a shout out and just kind of talk about it. It's a deck I really like. I played this deck a lot in Pioneer. It's what got me to RC Atlanta, then let me down in RC Atlanta as well, where I just struggle bust the whole day 1 and lost my win in. But fun little deck. Sideboard, pretty just like stacked full of good cards. Silence for anti-combo, anything like that. Warden for any kind of artifact enchantments, along with Wear Tear as well, being able to destroy artifacts, being able to destroy enchantments. A Chalice on 1 essentially kills this deck. Tormod Crypt for all the artifact decks going around, and then Boros Charm, really just to give indestructible or push that last point of damage through against the control decks and things that are going to wipe your board constantly. Overall, though, fun little deck. Great little shout out. I just give to it. Like I said, it's near and dear to my heart because I played a lot of this deck in Pioneer. I like the deck in Pioneer. Unfortunately, I think it's unplayable in Pioneer. So now we're going to Modern and seeing if we can compete with some real power level cards. Just a fun little deck. As always, guys, if you like what I'm doing, if you like what I'm showcasing, if you stuck around to this part, give me a like, give me a subscribe, leave a comment about anything. If you want to see something talked about, you want me to do a video on something, happy to communicate with you guys and talk to you guys. But yeah, I will see you guys next time.